These women, according to their zodiac sign, have the devil's mark. Who is she? The woman who is always surrounded by shadows, power, and a special mark that sets her apart from others. Why can her eyes be mesmerizing and her actions break destinies? Among the signs of the zodiac, there are those whose representatives bear the devil's mark. It is not a curse, but a gift that makes them dangerously attractive, strong, and impervious to the will of others. Today you will learn which women possess this hidden mark. They are feared, admired, and envied. These are not ordinary personalities. Their charisma burns, their energy changes the course of events, and their influence cannot be ignored. Watch carefully, listen to the end, and you will understand the secret of these special women and how their power can affect your life. Subscribe to the channel right now if you want to be the first to learn about the secret sides of the zodiac signs. And in the comments write, who in your circle would you suspect of having this very mark? The first sign is Sagittarius. She has neither pity nor affection, which hold other women back. She is not interested in sympathy, is not moved by tears, and does not respond to weakness. She can smile, and at that moment, break the person in front of her. A Sagittarius woman with the devil's mark does not create chaos, she controls it. And she does it without shouting, without hysterics, without leaving a trace. Everything around her is subject to an inner fire that has long since burned away norms, sympathy, and habits. She is not evil, she is dangerous, because she is not afraid to be who she is. Destruction is her nature, but not walls and cities, rather other people's principles, morals, and self-esteem. She is not interested in pretty words if there is no benefit behind them. She tests people for strength. She knows how to push them to the brink and then pretend that nothing happened. For her, it's not punishment that matters, but control. Once you're in her field, you're no longer free. Her words may sound soft, but behind them lies a will that is pointless to resist. She doesn't love, she chooses. And her logic in choosing is simple. You are needed as long as you are useful. A Sagittarius woman with this mark does not enter into conflicts. She creates them. She can pretend to be naive. She can play the victim. She can remain silent until you reveal all your cards, and then crush you with a phrase from which you will not recover. She skillfully reads weaknesses, uses subtle mechanisms of pressure, and knows where to break you so that it goes unnoticed. Her strength lies in her complete lack of pity. Her strategy is chaos, mixed with charisma, wit, and icy calculation. She doesn't ask, she demands. Her desires become other people's obligations. She is capable of instilling guilt, even in those who are not at fault. She presents aggression in the form of care. She hides threats behind compliments. She manipulates with such precision that you yourself believe you have decided everything voluntarily. She does not need to justify her harshness. It is her way of surviving and winning. In her world, weakness is a crime, and empathy is ballast. The danger of this woman is that she never looks dangerous. She combines freedom and power, rebellion and order, sincerity and calculation. She cannot be controlled, subjugated, or predicted. She can be there, and you will be happy. She can leave, and you will feel like your whole life has been burned. Her traces are invisible, but they remain for a long time, especially on those who tried to deceive or change her. She doesn't play by the rules, she herself is the rule. And if you're lucky, she won't destroy you right away. First, she'll give you a taste of victory. and then she'll take everything away. The second sign is Virgo. Her eyes do not burn with passion, and her voice does not tremble. She is not loud, quick-tempered, or hysterical. Everything she does is precise, cool-headed, and within the bounds of a well-calibrated system. But this is precisely where her demonic nature lies. A Virgo woman with the devil's mark does not engage in ostentatious destruction. She gets to the heart of the matter, finds vulnerabilities, and begins to act at a level where most people do not even notice the manipulation. Her method is not drama. Her method is cold analysis and strategic implementation. She does not burn. She squeezes. Her face is calm. She knows how to listen, nod, and ask the right questions. But her every word is like a surgical instrument, clean, precise, bloodless. She studies people not out of interest, but for control. She can be around for weeks, months, creating an illusion of security. And then, at the right moment, she will lay everything out on the table. Mistakes, weaknesses, lies. She will not take revenge. She does not need it. Her goal is submission, and when you think you can still resist, you are already part of her plan. A Virgo woman with this label never raises her voice. She doesn't need threats. She has enough facts. She is as meticulous as a surgeon and as cold as an iceberg. In her hands, information becomes a weapon and logic becomes a trap. You can argue, shout, defend yourself. She will wait. And then she will crush you with one dry argument that is impossible to dismiss. She is not about emotions. She is about absolute power over reality. She does not seek fame or recognition. She operates in the shadows. That is why her influence is deeper and more dangerous. She can be a boss, a partner, a mother, a lover. But behind any of these roles, there is always the same structure: complete control over the situation. She calculates everything in advance. There is no room for illusions in her head. Only calculation, only a plan, only results. And if someone gets in the way, they are eliminated without further ado. Cold, clean, no turning back. She does not arouse passion. She causes dependence, because when you are with her, you feel order. And then, you cannot live without her gaze, without her words, without her approval. And when she decides to leave, it feels like the collapse of a system, because she was the system. Her control, her observation, her silent superiority. Even in her absence, she remains, like a habit, like a trace, like control that no longer lets go. There is no overt evil in her. Her demonic nature lies in her structure. She does not destroy, she cleanses the field. And if you turn out not to be the one she needs, you will disappear. Not immediately, not loudly, you will simply no longer matter. The third sign is Cancer. She doesn't talk about herself, she lets you feel it. A Cancer woman with the devil's mark is not a flash of rage or a vengeful hysteric. Her strength lies in invisible depths, in things that cannot be explained by logic. She enters other people's emotions, like a surgeon and enters tissue, gently, precisely, leaving no traces. And when you finally realize that you have fallen into her field, there is nowhere to go. You are tied down. It is not fear that holds you, but something stronger, need. She knows how to make you give her power yourself. She is not a woman who demands. She is a woman who provokes. She does not demand love, but awakens it to obsession. She does not ask for honesty, but makes you say everything. She does not talk about pain, but creates it exactly when needed. Her demonic nature is not in her brightness. It is in her sticky, viscous influence that slowly creeps into your consciousness. She knows where your weakness is and will never touch it right away. She will circle around, evoking sympathy, evoking protection, evoking trust. And then she will press where you cannot withstand it. Her weapon is resentment, manipulation through silence, through tears, through vulnerability. But this is not weakness. It is a way of control. She can cry, and you will beg her to forgive you. She can fall silent, and you will go crazy from the silence. She can disappear, and your insides will turn inside out, because she knows how to make you dependent on her mood, on her reaction, on her closeness. And the stronger you are, the deeper she penetrates. Because her goal is not revenge. Her goal is to take you completely. A Cancer woman with this trait is not about forgiveness. She remembers everything and waits. Years, months, it doesn't matter. But she will find the moment when she can return the pain to you with pinpoint accuracy. And she will do it not out of malice, but in silence, without shouting, without scandal, just as if it were natural. She turns affection into a noose. You pull it tighter yourself, thinking that you are safe with her. But no, it is not safety. It is dependence, and the longer you stay, the harder it is to leave. She knows how to be gentle, and that's scary, because behind that gentleness lies steel. She knows how to touch you, how to stand by you when you're broken, how to whisper the words that pierce your armor. And when you open up, it all begins. She will make you part of her world. But that world is hers, not yours. Your feelings are her resource. Your pain is her food. Your weakness is her power. And one day you will wake up and realize you live inside her, and there is no way out. She doesn't burst in. She seeps in. She doesn't take you by storm. She consumes you. And when you realize that it's already happened, there's only one thing left to do: accept her rules or disappear, because she won't change. Her mark isn't on your body. It's in how she feels, how she absorbs, how she turns you into a shadow of yourself. And that's scarier than any fire. The fourth sign is Aries. Aries women stand out because of their inner mark, which seems to burn their character and behavior to the limit. They do not hide their temperament and do not know how to act quietly or inconspicuously. Every step they take exudes a power that few can resist. The mark of the devil is evident in the fact that she always strives to move forward, even if the path is littered with the fears and tears and doubt of others. Her words are sharp, her actions are decisive, and her energy does not allow those around her to relax for a minute. Such a woman cannot be subjugated. She always chooses the position of leader, and even if she appears soft on the outside, there is a hidden threat within her that is ready to break out at any moment. Her mark is a fierce confidence in her right to take what she considers hers. For her, there are no boundaries between what is permissible and what is forbidden. There is only a goal and a way to achieve it. This is where her danger lies. Any man next to her risks losing control, and any rival finds herself in constant tension. She knows how to act directly, without unnecessary words and theatrical gestures. But it is precisely this directness that is often perceived as pressure. The mark of the devil makes the Aries woman merciless towards weakness. She despises it in herself and in others. Those who find themselves near her either grow stronger under her pressure or break down. Compromise is impossible here. In relationships, she can be both a magnet that attracts attention and a storm that sweeps away everything around her. She is capable of giving head-spinning passion, but the price will be high, complete submission to her rhythm. She cannot be tamed with gifts or pretty words. She only hears actions and responds only to strength. Everything else is empty to her. In business, an Aries woman acts with a force that frightens her competitors. She leaves no room for doubt. Her decisions are sharp, her steps are calculated. The mark of the devil makes her a dangerous rival in any field because she does not accept defeat. If she is stopped today, she will return twice as strong tomorrow. Her persistence becomes a weapon that rarely fails. A distinctive feature of her character is that she is incapable of forgiveness. Any betrayal or even a hint of mistrust makes her want to prove her strength, and she will do so methodically, leaving no chance for her opponent. She may smile, but beneath that smile burns a flame that never goes out. This trait makes her uncomfortable and frightening to those who are used to hiding behind masks. Even among her loved ones, her energy does not soften. She knows how to love, but her love is like fire. It warms only those who are willing to endure the heat. For the rest, it is a burn. The mark of the devil in her destiny manifests itself in her unceasing desire to win. She does not stop, does not give in, does not change direction. Her path is straight, and there are too few who are able to walk alongside her on this path. And if someone decides that they can stand up to an Aries woman, they should know that her strength has no shades of grey. She lives as if every day is a challenge, and she has no intention of losing. This is her mark, a strength that is both feared and admired. The fifth sign is Capricorn. A Capricorn woman gives off an aura of power and control from the very first glance. There is no fuss in her actions. Her gaze is always direct and heavy, as if she can see through a person's skin to their very essence. The devilish trait in her character manifests itself not in open aggression, but in a cold ability to control the situation. She never acts hastily, but each of her steps leaves an indelible mark. Her inner strength is based on discipline. Where others seek excuses, she demands results. Where someone is inclined to soften the rules, she tightens them. This inflexibility makes her dangerous. She is not easily influenced, and it is impossible to confuse her with pretty words or promises. The Capricorn woman creates the rules herself and dictates their enforcement. Anyone who tries to enter her world must be prepared to be tested for strength. There is a particular harshness in her nature. The mark of the devil is evident in her ability to exploit the weaknesses of others. She notices details that others overlook and turns them into tools. This insight makes her a strategist who is difficult to resist. She does not raise her voice or show emotion, but her silence is more frightening than a scream. She knows how to wait for the moment when her opponent reveals their weak spot, and then she strikes so that there is no turning back. In relationships, a Capricorn woman does not present herself as gentle or submissive. Her presence creates a feeling of constant control. The man next to her must be stronger than usual, otherwise he will become an executor of her will. She does not allow herself to depend on anyone, and her independence is both frightening and admirable. Even if she loves, her feelings do not become light. They envelop like iron, making it impossible to escape. Her mark is especially evident at work. She is capable of building a career methodically, without unnecessary steps or words. Her upward movement is not always noticeable, but it is always relentless. She is so patient that she can wait for years for one decisive step. Those who underestimate her lose out, because a Capricorn woman always thinks several steps ahead. She does not forgive mistakes, especially if they are made deliberately against her. She has the ability to erase people from her life without regret. The mark of the devil manifests itself in a cold determination that is more frightening than any outburst of rage. She is capable of destroying a person's trust with a single glance, and after that, it is impossible to get it back. A Capricorn woman does not need approval. Her strength lies in her ability to follow her chosen path without looking back at the noise around her. She lives by her own rules and does not allow interference. The mark makes her immune to outside influence, and it is this steadfastness that makes her a figure to be treated with caution. She seems to have been created to test the world for strength. Any communication with her turns into an exam, where the slightest sign of weakness becomes a death sentence. Her calmness is oppressive, her decisions are not open to discussion, and her inner control is impossible to break. The Capricorn woman is an example of unbridled strength, and the mark on her destiny always reminds her that she is capable of subjugating others, not with words, but with her very essence.